Our journey begins with computers that filled entire rooms, behemoths of vacuum tubes and wires. Over decades, these machines shrunk dramatically. This incredible shrinking act powered the digital revolution. We carry more computing power in our pockets than existed in the world just a few decades ago. This progress was fueled by miniaturization. Transistors, the tiny building blocks of computers, were shrunk to microscopic sizes. Millions, then billions, could be etched onto a single chip. This incredible density unleashed processing power we could only dream of before. But like any good magic act, this miniaturization trick has its limits. We're approaching the physical boundaries of how small we can make transistors. Atoms themselves are only a few nanometers wide. We're reaching the point where the laws of physics themselves impose a barrier. This brings us to the famous Moore's Law. It's not a law of physics, but an observation about the pace of progress. For decades, the number of transistors on a chip doubled roughly every 2 years. This exponential growth drove the digital revolution. Moore's law, however, is not eternal. As transistors shrink to the size of atoms, new problems arise. Heat becomes a major issue, as packing so much power into such a small space generates immense heat. Cooling these chips becomes a major engineering challenge. Another problem is quantum mechanics. At these tiny scales, the weird world of quantum mechanics starts to interfere. Electrons can tunnel through barriers, leading to unpredictable behavior. Our classical understanding of how transistors work starts to break down. This doesn't mean progress stops. Engineers are incredibly clever. New materials and designs are constantly being explored. Three-dimensional chips, stacking transistors vertically, offer a way to pack more power into the same space. But these improvements are becoming increasingly difficult and expensive. So, have we reached the limit? Not necessarily. While Moore's law in its original form may be ending, new possibilities are emerging on the horizon. These new technologies promise to redefine what a computer can be. One of the most exciting developments is quantum computing. Unlike classical computers that use bits, zeros and ones, quantum computers use qubits. Qubits can be in a superposition, both 0 and 1 at the same time, thanks to the strange laws of quantum mechanics. This allows them to perform calculations in parallel, tackling problems that would take classical computers billions of years. Quantum computers are still in their infancy. Building them is incredibly challenging and they're prone to errors, but the potential is enormous. They could revolutionize medicine, material science, and artificial intelligence, to name just a few fields. Another promising area is neuromorphic computing. These computers are inspired by the human brain. Instead of relying on transistors, they use artificial neurons and synapses that mimic the way our brains process information. This could lead to computers that are far more energy efficient and capable of learning and adapting like biological systems. These are just two examples. Other radical approaches like optical computing and DNA computing are also being explored. The future of computing may lie not in shrinking transistors further, but in fundamentally rethinking what a computer can be. As we explore these new frontiers, artificial intelligence stands to benefit enormously. AI algorithms are incredibly hungry for computing power. The development of more powerful computers will enable AIs to tackle even more complex tasks, from designing new drugs to understanding the universe itself. But the relationship between computing power and AI is a two-way street. As AIs become more sophisticated, they can help us design even better computers. We're already seeing AI being used to optimize chip design and discover new materials. In the future, AIs might even design their own hardware, leading to an exponential feedback loop of progress. So, have we reached the limit of computer power? Far from it. While Moore's law as we know it may be coming to an end, it's simply a signpost on the road to even more exciting destinations. The future of computing promises to be strange, wonderful, and full of possibilities we can only begin to imagine. The journey is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning.